favor of marriage equality for same-sex couples. He proved to us that you could do it. Please welcome State Comptroller Alan Hevesy. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please understand that the brevity of my remarks is a sign of my respect and affection for everybody here. This is a huge crowd, and there's a huge crowd of elected officials who want you to recognize that they are with you and with us in this fight for civil rights. And if I may take a liberty, one of them who is not speaking is my son, Assemblyman Andrew Hevesy. So I give him a plug because he's been with us from the beginning. I'm not going to repeat what the eloquent speakers have said, except one theme. Today is a setback. It's a setback. It's a disappointment. That's all it is. History is on our side. The decent people of this state have already mobilized to support the right of all people to share the fundamental constitutional rights to be treated equally in this state. The shift is dramatic and it is remarkable. It means now we have to mobilize and go to the legislature and get the legislature to do what 5 years and 10 years ago people would have said was impossible. Well, you know what? 10 years ago, civil union was impossible. And I was here in 1993 and before that in 1983 when changing the anti-discrimination laws was impossible. You couldn't add sexual orientation to the anti-discrimination laws. This political movement is powerful and it is inevitable as long as all of us stand fast and united and firm that everybody in this state is going to be treated equally and fairly under the law, and there are no excuses for that not to happen.
Let me just say that Jerry Nadler said that people 35 and under support gay marriage. Well, I must be 35 or under. Because I have always supported gay marriage, and I want to tell you that we are with you and we're with you to fight. Now, we're all grandma, woo! Grandma power, yeah. I'm a grandma.
All right.
But seriously, we're all disappointed by the Court of Appeals decision today because I thought, as everybody here thought, that we had equal protection under the law in the state of New York. Well, we don't, my friends, but everybody here has said we've got to fight for it, and we will fight for it. You know, Judith Kay said in her dissent that future generations are going to look on this and see that we made a huge misstep. Well, we did. A huge mistake. And we cannot have this happen in our wonderful state of New York. There is no reason why people who love each other should not have the right to have that love confirmed under the law. You have my commitment. I think you have almost every elected official that I know commitment, and we will be here to fight with you until we get the right for everybody to marry in this state. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob. You know, I just want to make the point that the truth is the people who really support marriage are the grandparents and the seniors and the families, because they want to be able to go with great dignity and pride to the wedding. Listen, they want marriage, and I have to tell you something. These politicians at Albany are making a great mistake, because the reality is that they're stepping on the families of New York. They're trying to divide the people in our communities over an issue where there should be no division. People have a right to love somebody and express that and have the law recognize it. But it's the grandparents who want to see this happen, and they're the ones who happen to vote. Now, I think that we should, having served some time in Albany, I did 13 hard years, and I thought I saw everything. But the reality now is it's time to do a vote count. Let's have a special election in the legislature right now. Let Pataki call everybody in. Let's see who's up or down. Let's see the people who have been getting away with telling ESPA that they're with you, knowing no bill is going to come to the floor for a vote. Let's show them now what that
looking crowd. But it's a, yeah, give yourself a round of applause. If the police ask you to move in, just cooperate with the police. They're doing the best we can. I've never been to a rally where we outnumber the police. So believe it or not, we're outnumbering the police. So let's do what we need. Please let's welcome the guy whose bill it is in the assembly that we need to move. Please welcome our assemblyman, Dick Goffrey.
Wow, what a crowd this is. My friend there with the yellow sign, could you lend me your sign for a minute? I'll give it back to you. I promise. Even though I'm a legislator, I'll give it back. You know, one of the most outrageous things the Court of Appeals said in their decision, they said, well, you know, the law that said interracial couples couldn't get married, that law was based on bigotry, but this one isn't. What the hell were they thinking? You know, for thousands of years, and even in this state it wasn't that long ago, if you held up this sign, or if you stood with somebody who was holding up this sign, you were subject, at the very least, to being a social outcast, and in this state until not very long ago, subject to arrest, and for thousands of years subject to being, and till very recently and probably even today, tied to a fence and beaten to death. If you held up a sign like this, clergy of all denominations would have told you you were an abomination to God. That's not bigotry. What does it take to get the attention of the Court of Appeal? Bigotry is what it's all about. You don't have to wear a hood to be a bigot. The one thing we do know is that this court decision has put this issue on every front page in the state. I would bet that every one of the 211 members of the legislature has today had a conversation with a constituent about what do you think about same-sex marriage. I don't think that happened yesterday or the day before. And here's going to be the result. I think my colleagues in the legislature over the next few days and weeks and months are going to learn a lot about what their constituents think about same-sex marriage. And I really believe that what they're going to find is that the more New Yorkers talk about this issue, let's remember, this is New York, this is not Kansas. The more New Yorkers talk about this issue, the more New Yorkers are going to say, well, yeah, it is fair. The more New Yorkers are going to say, well, why not? It's no skin off my nose. You know, I've worn this ring for 35 and a half years. It's not going to fall off. Court decision, whether the Court of Appeals meant it or not, is ultimately, and I hope in a matter of months, not years, going to bring us to the victory that all fair-minded and all New Yorkers who respect their neighbors and respect love want, and I think that's going to happen, and we're the people, all of us here tonight are the people who are going to make it happen. Thank you.